Icon Media.
Welcome to the channel. What is going on? Appreciate you tapping in, man. Listen, man. Uh, from setbacks to success, can't join us tonight, but that's cool. We got to keep this thing rolling. Listen here, man. Anger management. Now, a lot of every last one of us has dealt with anger management at some point in our lives. The difference between one person and another is the fact that anger management is based on how a person processes their anger, what a person views as disrespect, um and 9 times out of 10 it is a disrespect thing. A person feels disrespected. What is felt as disrespect to one person may not be disrespect to the other, man. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all tapping in. This is something that should be talked about in as early as elementary school. I feel as though most of our problems in society comes from a lack of communication and a lack of understanding and a lack of education. Because I can tell you one thing, I can promise you one thing. If you don't learn anger management on the street, and your anger causes you to lose it and possibly put yourself in a situation where you send somebody to the other side or they send you to the afterlife. You send them to the afterlife and you get caught. Guess what? You are now taxed with having to complete a life sentence. You understand that? Or possibly, 10, 20, 30, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, uh felony murder, malice murder, things of that nature, first degree murder, all that stuff carry life. So you will be having to deal with that for a very long time. So if you don't learn anger management out here on the street, I promise you there's some people inside those walls that can help you deal with your anger management, and it might not be the way that you think that they're gonna help you deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I speak as a person from experience. When I was much younger, people that have been knowing me all my life, I still got a few people that we've been friends since we were teenagers, and they know me. I used to love to fight. Used to love to fight for no reason. If I felt disrespected or if I felt like somebody was trying to get over on me, we going with the hands. And that was the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So that was before prison. That was in prison in the beginning. Um, and I think my last fight was probably, what is this, 2025? Oh, my last fight was in 2010. My last fight was in 2010. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing nothing with these hands no more, man. You know what I'm saying? Unless worse come to worse, you know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times anger comes from when, people felt disrespected and, somebody is exercising their First Amendment constitutional right. Now, a lot of times people worrying about what other people are saying. Talk, 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 talk. How many people have you seen in the news, or how do y'all have any people that y'all know that have literally lost their freedom because they were worrying about something that somebody was talking about? I've been incarcerated with many of people like that. You know what I'm saying? Many people have lost their freedom for life behind worrying about what somebody's saying out their mouth. when in actuality, that's their First Amendment constitutional right, man. You know what I'm saying? That's their First Amendment constitutional right to be able to is their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people, it's a lot of people sitting in prison that have been tricked off of the streets because of somebody's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So my personal experiences in prison, man, are leading up to prison because I was listen, man. A lot of times people do a lot of stupid things when they're young, okay, and especially and all kind of factors play into that. I was most of my life I was without a father figure. You know what I'm saying? Um, my mom, she got married. Uh, he passed away. She got married again. This dude was a assistant pastor in church and hella abusive. He was alcoholic, hella abusive. He was physically, mentally abusive. I remember that marriage maybe lasting a year. Um, let me see. After that, my mom was pretty much single the rest of my childhood. So I really didn't have that father figure. And then at that time, I started to get to know my real father by the time I turned 15. And I think I may have gotten a year and a half in with him, and he passed away when I was 17. So, and my father wasn't, he was who he was, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't the best dad. So I essentially did not have a man to sit down and tell me the things that I now try to pass on to younger adults, you know what I'm saying? Young people in general, because I don't want to see y'all going down the same road that I went down. You know what I'm saying? It was a long, hard, lonely road. You know what I'm saying? And so I basically maybe have been I may have been angry with growing up without a father figure, dropped out of school when I was like in the 10th grade. I don't even remember making it too much further past the 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? So when I became a young adult, I just had an anger issue. And I just always wanted to fight behind feeling disrespected and just in general, just if things wasn't going my way, I wanted to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that was just an ignorance type deal. You know what I'm saying? And my son, my oldest son, um, he is just now learning because again, my my anger issues may have caused me to miss his life from the time he was 2 and I didn't get out till he was 18. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think about the consequences that come with hey, making that stupid decision to engage in some road rage type violence. You know what I'm saying? Y- When these people take your life, they take it for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, my son, me not trying to repeat the same cycle, I ended up repeating the same cycle, and he pretty much grew up without me in his life. He has me now, you know what I'm saying? But he had to go through a lot of stuff on his own. And he had a very, very bad anger issue. Like my son is just now really turning into just a forward thinking grown man because he had a lot of anger issues. Still a work in progress. We all are. You know what I'm saying? But he's a work in progress because I set the example. See, I can do all kind of stuff to crash out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody stepped to me wrong. I still can go with these hands. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta set an example for my kids. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I wasn't thinking about at the time I was incarcerated. So I did conceive a son while I was in there, and he is now 18. But I swear when he was ages 6, 7, and 8, because I came home when he was like, it was before he turned 7. And I could I was seeing a lot of the anger issues in him at that time. Like he was playing little league baseball, little league t-ball at the time. He was playing basketball, and he just did not like to lose. So he'll be out there huffing and puffing. He'll be real angry, you know what I'm saying, out there. Whenever we played the video games and I was beating him, he'd get angry and things of that nature. But over the years, over time, I've kind of like helped reshape him to be able to forward think and think about the consequences and think stuff out. And you don't have to get mad and upset just because things not going your way. Because if you don't teach these kids if you don't teach these kids that things don't go their way and they have to learn to adjust to it, they're going to get out there and get themselves in a situation that is going to be hell getting out of. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them anger issues, because I feel like I just had, because of how I was raised without a father. And no matter how good your mother is, that man she cannot teach a boy how to be a man. So my mother did the best she could, but I was hard-headed. I was hell. I was my daddy's child. I was my dad's child, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and by the time I was enacting with him, and then he passed away, and it was like, damn, I'm mad at the world at this point. You know what I'm saying? But me going through my prison stint, and that's what I really hate, because I wasted so much of my life learning the lessons that I learned now. So that's the basis for me getting on these platforms and trying to tell people, hey, it's a better way out here, man. You got to work on these anger issues and learn to stop willing to throw everything that you work for away just because you're mad about something that is 9 times out of 10 temporary. You know what I'm saying? Um, you gotta identify the triggers, man, and you gotta start doing these things. See, a lot of times I play situations, especially now in my life, I play situations out in my head before they even go down. So a lot of times when things happen, I didn't play these situations, just bit my life experience of being a man, my life experience of having to be in prison, being around killers, gangsters, gang bangers, um, everything is in prison. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always playing situations and things in my mind. Now, can you prepare for every situation? I don't believe that you can, but most of these situations you can prepare for in within your mind before you get to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of situations. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have been out of prison 11 and a half years, and there has been so many situations and opportunities for me to say to a person, I'm not the one to play with, and show them why I'm not the one to play with. But guess what? I gotta remember, I done already put my kids, my daughter will never know what it is to see me incarcerated, because she's my only child to this point that I have not been incarcerated none of her life. You know what I'm saying? And she's about to be 11. My second boy, you know, I was like I said, he was almost 7 when I came home. So I was incarcerated his whole life up to that point. And my oldest boy, I was incarcerated most of his life up to that point till he turned 18. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always playing out situations in my mind. And the top thing that's in my mind, I cannot let these kids down. I cannot embarrass these kids. You know what I'm saying? I cannot let these kids down by making me crash out, do something stupid, take my myself away from my children. Gotta always think about that. And that's why some of the things that you see on the news, sometimes you see why do people act like this? Like, it's so many times every single day it be a simple road rage. People that don't know each other, never met each other a day in their life, one cut off, the other one chased, the other one doing this, doing that, throwing the middle finger was just gonna make the dude madder. Next thing you know, y'all either trying to crash each other or somebody pull out a firearm, start shooting, miss the intended target altogether, and somebody else gets hit by the bullet. Now what? Did you prove your point? You still didn't prove your point. You still failed to prove your point. You know what I'm saying? These are things that people gotta think about. Like, listen, man. So that's what I say. You gotta identify the triggers. You know what I'm saying? So when you see them, I be like, soon as somebody come to me with something, I'm not even finna feed into that. I'm not even about to feed into that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody that's just tapping in. I got my phone in front of my thing. I see comments and stuff like that. I appreciate y'all tapping in though. But just to stay on track, um we gotta think, people. We gotta do better. And black people, us black people, we notorious for this. We are notorious. So many black men sitting in prison because they crashed out about what somebody said. You know what I'm saying? What somebody did. You know what I'm saying? And it's I could understand perfectly reasons to crash out. Somebody mess with your kids, somebody hit your wife, hurt your wife, do something like this, somebody that stole some. I can understand that, things of that nature. But what I would never be able to understand is somebody crashing out because of something that came out of somebody's mouth, man. We got to do better as a people, man, as a society. Because I'm gonna tell you, and I say this all the time, you get in that, you engage yourself in that shootout, everybody got phones in their cars. There's cameras on the poles. You got flock cameras going that identify every car in the scene, that's on the scene. Your cell phone is gonna place you at the scene. You're gonna tell on yourself. Somebody next to you gonna tell on you. It's just too many factors to be a criminal now. You know what I'm saying? Being a criminal in the 90s was much easier. Early 2000s was much easier, but now in 2025 and beyond, and technology, and for you people that do not want to study artificial intelligence, that's what's taking you down. You know what I'm saying? I tell everybody, that's another thing I get on my platform and I tell everybody, man, do not be left behind. I study artificial intelligence every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not studying artificial intelligence, because it's ever changing. The same artificial intelligence that you get today, you didn't have this 6 months ago. It's forever changing. And all you got to do is pick up, watch YouTube videos, go on Coursera, edX, pay for you a couple of courses, learn how to do prompt engineering, learn about artificial intelligence, because that is another thing that is used on the war on crime. See all these um police figures and people in law enforcement, man, them folks sitting down at them computers and they learning all this artificial intelligence and they catching these clowns and you don't know how you got caught. Like you'll be sitting there feeling like you got away, nobody saw you, and then boom, they show up on your doorstep or they catch you at work or they catch you at church, you know what I'm saying, or they catch you somewhere and the whole time it was artificial intelligence. So listen, man, study artificial intelligence. It is it's a game breaker. You don't want to be the one that's left behind. Listen, and when it comes to anger management as well, seek counseling. A lot of times, as Black people, we don't want to ask for help. We don't want to say, "Hey, I got a problem. Hey, I got an issue." You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to somebody. We don't know how to say that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm guilty of that as well. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you got to seek counseling, and that's why I just felt the need to say, "Hey, tonight." I'm not gonna talk about no stories. I mean, we all see the news every day. We all see how people crash out. You know what I'm saying? We all see how people go out bad and do stupid stuff, and we all see road rage incidents and just how people just lose it and get a firearm and go start a mass shooting and all this stuff. We see these things, man. You know what I'm saying? But it starts within. It starts with the person. You know what I'm saying? You got to want to say, "Hey, I don't want to throw my life away. Hey, I don't want to let my kids down. I don't want to let my wife down. I don't want to let my husband down. I don't want to let mom down." You know what I'm saying? If you don't do it for yourself, at least do it for the ones around you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do stupid stuff like that, and next thing you know, your daughter growing up without you, you know what I'm saying, and she gets to enjoy her friends get to enjoy their daddy, and then they ask her where your daddy at. How she gonna tell them her daddy's in prison because he he did something stupid to somebody that was just running his mouth? You look stupid. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. It's a stupid look. You know what I'm saying? When you're not sitting in prison for something, for a real self-defense issue, that if it really is a real self-defense issue, 9 times out of 10 you won't be in prison. And in most free states, like in the South, down here in Georgia, you probably won't even get charged if they determine that it is self-defense up front. You know what I'm saying? So man, just watch videos, take classes, you know what I'm saying, seek counseling. It's a whole bunch of things that you could do to um avoid making those costly mistakes. I mean, I want you to sit down and just really think about it. Think about this for a second. You sitting in the courtroom and the jury just found you guilty. You know what I'm saying? And that judge say life, life. I'm a person that has been that did 16 years, and you don't know how many people sitting in prison saying they wish they wouldn't have did what they did. They wish they could go back. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually your wife don't want to ride no more, so she divorced you. Eventually your kids forget about you. Mama died, grandmama died. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, 20, 30 years then passed by, and everybody you know probably then kicked the bucket. And you done wasted your entire life in prison behind one bad decision. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people get to get a second chance at life. But sometimes you can make decisions that will take all of you won't get the second chance. You won't even get a second chance. So it is imperative that you stop, take the time out, take a deep breath. You know what I'm saying? Take a deep breath, think about some stuff, and and one thing that you can ask yourself is this this is mattering to me right now. With this one issue right here that this person said, will it matter to me 1 year from now? If the answer not yes, I don't even know what you walk away. You know what I'm saying? Walk away. Me, I don't want no smoke. I'm de-escalating. A lot of times you got to take responsibility and not place yourself in them situations. You got to identify the stupid people that is going to hit those specific triggers. You identify the triggers, you identify the threat. You know what I'm saying? And if you avoid them two, everything else is pretty much easy, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can walk away. But that is my spiel for the night. I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all time. I definitely appreciate what's going on, Slick and Storm. If y'all still in here, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. That's what I got, man. Just think about the decisions before you make them. Just think about the decisions before you make them. And if it don't matter to you, if it matters to you right now, will it matter to you next week? Think about your decisions before you make them. Seek counseling, seek anger management, talk to somebody. Don't hold it in. Talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you, if you make the wrong decision, it may be your last decision. It's not guaranteed that you're going to survive the interaction that you're trying to place yourself in just because somebody said something. And sometimes people die from just hands. It don't necessarily have to be by your firearm or by a knife. It don't necessarily have to be because of that. Some people pass away with the hands. What if you hit somebody, you fighting with them, they fall down, hit their head on a concrete corner of a wall, corner of a table, or anything? There was actually a situation when I first went to prison because people going in with a certain amount of time and catching a life sentence while they're in there is a real thing. It was one time I beat this dude so bad. I was in the hole that night, and I was thinking to myself, man, I hope this dude don't die on me, because he fell, hit his head on the thing. But you know, it was something that he said. We were sitting at the poker table gambling, and you know, when you losing your money, tempers flame, words get said, and it was something that he said that in prison was extremely disrespectful. Now, that's one thing about prison. Prison is a different story. You see what I'm saying? And at that time, I was on probably my second year on a 16-year bid. So if he would have got away with what he said, everybody around the table would have took that and ran with it. Now I got a whole new set of problems on my hand. But because I handled that night, you know, a reputation in prison carries with you. It's not like it or was anyway, how it used to be. Now it's a lot of people in gangs, gang culture, everybody clicked up. When I first went in there, you was by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You was by yourself. So whatever this dude said, it set me all to the point where I beat him like he stole something. First, cause I was losing at the poker table, so I paid my money, because I ain't, you know, a lot of times people back then would probably start something to get took out the dorm so they wouldn't have to pay the people that they owe. No, 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 no. One thing that people can tell you about me and my prison stay, my words was official, my face was clean. You know what I'm saying? Didn't mess with none of them boys. Didn't tolerate no madness. Didn't steal nothing from nobody. Didn't go out bad at all. You know what I'm saying? So my face was clean. I paid my debt off, got right, got back to the table, and then next thing you know, it was going down right at the poker table. You know what I'm saying? And we was fighting, or I was fighting until the police came in, separated, took both of us to the hole. But my point was when I started that I felt like that was the one fight that I felt like this dude might die in his sleep. Now I got a whole set of new problems. So just because you go into prison with 1 or 2 years does not mean that you won't catch an entire life sentence behind what somebody said. You know what I'm saying? So people, just talk this stuff out. Talk with your loved ones. Talk with your wife. Think about your kids. Think about your mama, because a lot of times when you clowns get sent to prison, y'all be. I was watching who that was the cash out trial, right? So the dude, when he was getting sentenced, the other, because it was three of them. The other one that was getting sentenced, he was talking about, man, I talked to my mama every day. See, at this point, he locked up for about 2 years, 3 years. I talked to my mama every day, and I talked to my son like he a man and let him know this ain't what you want, this and that. You already in prison, in jail, and then you tell the judge all this stuff, and the judge turn around and hit that man with a couple of life sentences. A couple of life sentences. Don't wait until you get incarcerated to be trying to say, well, I gotta go to church, and my mama need me back out there, judge, and ooh, my kids growing up without me. Guess what? That judge don't care nothing about that. Life will go on. They're gonna make you pay for what you did. So take option D and walk away from the interaction. Do not put yourself in harm's way to lose your temper enough for you to have to take somebody's life. You gotta proactively think and play these situations out in your head, because it's just a matter of time. If you got an anger issue, and I mean real anger issues, it's just a matter of time for you do something to somebody, and now next thing you know, you don't you gone. You done wasted your life. But I'm telling you now, they take your life and they don't care nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's you the one that put yourself in that situation. You don't put yourself in that situation, they can't take your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got for tonight. It was Thursday. I had to keep this thing going. I didn't feel like talking about trending topics. I didn't feel like talking about stocks and bonds, artificial intelligence, all of the things that we talk about. I felt like talking about anger management just to try to get y'all to think. So share this video out. Get y'all to think about what y'all do before you do it, because that one mistake may be your last, and you may not get a second chance. You know what I'm saying? That person might pass away on you, and that's a whole nother problem. You know what I'm saying? So please, people, please think about what you do before you do it. I was listening to something earlier today. When you think you think when you leave the street, you may be halfway safe in prison, in the Georgia prison system. Now I can't speak for nowhere else. The Georgia prison system with correctional officers are only 30%. They're at 30% they got 30% of the officers that they need to run the entire Georgia prison system. So guess what? That means it's a lot of big banging in there. It's a lot of extortion going on. And guess what? You go behind them walls, behind something stupid, and you not clicked up with the right people. Hey, you gonna wish you had not made that fatal mistake. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's what I got tonight, man. Appreciate you for tapping in.
Thank you for tuning into XCon Media. Go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hurry up!